It's one of the busiest fast food strip malls along I-5. Hundreds of travelers a day stop in Kettleman City for a bite to eat and drink. But the next time you press that soda tab, there's something you may want to know. Kettleman City's water is contaminated with arsenic at levels well above the federal limit. It's so bad that local residents like Maricela Marizalatorre get drinking water delivered every 2 weeks, courtesy of the state.
I think people have become immune to the fact that our water quality is so poor that you can't actually drink it.
But fast food restaurants here use tap water to prepare food. They even pipe it into the soda fountains. Is it safe? We decided to check it out. We took samples of water from In-N-Out, Carl's Jr., and Taco Bell. We also took a sample from Maricela's kitchen sink and brought the 4 to be tested at a lab in San Jose. All of them came back well above the EPA limit for arsenic, which is 10 parts per billion. In our samples, Carl's Jr. and Maricela's water contained 16 parts per billion of arsenic. In-N-Out and Taco Bell, 15.
So what we can do is...
We took the results to Craig Steinmoss, an arsenic expert at UC Berkeley. He's been studying the health effects of long-term exposure to arsenic in a region of Chile where levels are at least 10 times higher than what we found in Kettleman City.
We've seen 4 to 5-fold increase rates in lung cancer, 7-fold increase rates of bladder cancer, 11-fold increase rates in the type of kidney cancer. If you take those risks and you actually linearly extrapolate down to what is the estimated risk at 10, that estimated risk is actually fairly high.
He says stopping once or twice at the fast food restaurants on I-5,
your risk may not be 0, but it's going to be close enough to 0.
But he says you may want to think twice before making a habit out of it, especially if you're pregnant or have kids.
The problem is exposure over a long period of time.
Eric Schaefer, a former head of enforcement for the EPA, takes that advice a step further.
If that's a problem that persists in those fast food chains, you do need to tell people, because you've got folks around the area who may depend on those restaurants for a lot of their diet.
He says county health inspectors should be checking arsenic levels in restaurant water, something we confirmed is not happening now.
If you've got a problem that is more than once or twice at a restaurant and your arsenic persists, you should have to put up a sign.
As for people who live in Kettleman City and use the water every day to cook and shower, it could potentially be much more serious.
Kind of like cigarette smoking. It's not like you smoke a cigarette and then you get lung cancer the next day. It usually takes 20, 30, and sometimes even 40 or 50 years.
These communities that are already vulnerable, it's just easier to forget about them or make it seem like it's our fault for being here.
Maricela knows the risk, but doesn't see a way out anytime soon.
We're not doing anything wrong. What's wrong is the water situation that needs to be fixed.